As Blues prepare to take the trip to the northeast to take on Newcastle United, manager Gary Rowett is hoping to see a reaction from his side following last weekend's defeat.
They've come in ready to work. I think they've come in ready to put things right. I think it was interesting yesterday morning, but you can overhear quite a few of the players talking about the game and what they were disappointed with. And I think sometimes as a manager, you can come up with a reason. I actually said to them before the Barnsley game, we cannot be outworked today. We have to work harder than them. And I must have said it about 6 times in the build-up to the game. Yet it still happens. So sometimes you have to try to find the reasons and the ways that perhaps we can approach games differently to help the players prepare better for those types of games. And we'll always talk to the lads about it. We'll always, seek a little bit of their opinion, because of course they're the ones on the pitch and they're the ones that need to get results. But the reaction in training has been really good. We worked really hard yesterday, as they always do. I can never fault their application in training, and sometimes we need to turn that application into a controlled application on a Saturday's game. You want to go there and give Newcastle something to think about, and of course we've seen in recent games that they can, they're just a team, they're a good team. We're really respectful of their players and how they play, but they've shown that they do have some faults in the team themselves and that they can be beaten. But what I think you have to also do is look at the strengths of your own team and how you think that you can play against it. Well, we're usually, in some ways, usually we're quite suited to teams that pass the ball. We're quite suited to teams that want to play expansive football. We don't mind that. That's something that fits our style, but we negate quite well. But of course, when you've got very good players on the pitch, the likes of Richie, the likes of Mitrovic, then of course, even in lack of space, they can still cause you problems because they've got that technical ability. But we know what we need to do. We'll start our work probably as early in the week as we normally would. We'll make sure the players are mindful of it, but also, we'll make sure the players know that we've won games like this. We've caused teams problems like this. You look last season, we drew at Burnley, we beat Derby County away, we drew at Middlesbrough. I think a couple of seasons ago at Bournemouth, we were 2-0 up against the Bournemouth side that romped home with the league. So we certainly won't be fearful of it. I'm looking forward to the game, but we know we're going to have to be at our best energy-wise and the way we look after the ball when we get the ball. I think our results, to a certain degree, recently have masked. It's actually been quite a difficult period where we've tended to have every week. It seems to be that 2 players are not available for different reasons, and we've not really had that period for probably the first couple of years of being here. This season we seem to get it a lot. Last week Diego and Jacques Magoma were not available. The week before I think it was Specs wasn't available and one other. This week we've got Dave Davis not available and Spectre. It seems to be every game we've got to try and not plug gaps is a little bit unfair on the players that have come in, but we seem to having to adjust all the time. And I think that's testament to the group and how they've coped with it. It's testament to the squad, but certainly been a real challenge. It'd be nice to get a little bit more continuity in terms of what we can pick and how we can play.
Rowett also believes that his side will be relishing the idea of playing at St James's Park.
It's one of those great games that, if you're a player, you want to play in the bigger games. We spoke about it a lot recently, haven't we, about sometimes when we're maybe turning into the favourites for some games, they become your biggest challenge. When you're the underdogs and you go into a place like that, you've got nothing to lose, have you? So, and historically, we've always done okay in these type of games. But we know this. We know it's going to be a tough place to go. I've obviously played there myself, so in front of 50-odd thousand fans, it's not an easy. The atmosphere can be incredible if you give the opposition a lift and if you give the opposition some early chances. But alternatively, it's an inspirational place to play as well, because of that crowd in the Championship was very, very unique, isn't it, for the players at this level? So, be a good one. We're really looking forward to it. And I think there'll be some players desperately hoping that they're in the starting 11.
And the boss is well aware that his side are coming up against one of the strongest sides in the Championship.
With the players they've got, with the squad they've got, with the crowd they've got, with a manager they've got, you would assume that they would be, a very, very strong favourite to win the division, and rightly so. But as they'll find, and as they've found recently, it's not an easy division to. It's not an easy division to win games consistently, no matter who you are, no matter what you spend, no matter what team you are, and it's always a challenge. I think the difference with someone like Newcastle is that they've got the quality to come out of those dips, because they've got the players to do that. I mean, at one stage last week, someone said, obviously Shelvey's was originally not playing, but you don't really think about Newcastle as that's not going to bother them because they've got so many players that can step in, and their squad's so vast. So you just concentrate on what you need to do against them. As I said, we're really looking forward to the game.